back. Okay, so we have, actually I like this one. I don't know, they're both good. Yeah. Okay, you can see, oh, they're both good. They're both good. It's a nice sharp knife, which really helps. Okay, so you have the septum. Oh, you can see the septum pellucidum a little more plainly in this one. Oh, no, it's gone. It's on this side. I cut just a little bit off center. It's on this side. Here you can see actually back into the ventricle. So it's heading backwards. Okay, we have the, like I said, fornix here, corpus callosum here. You have the thalamus here. Realize we just cut through the middle of the thalamus. You have to the side, you have a larger lateral mass here, and to the other side, back behind on the other side, you have a lateral mass here, but you have a thin little central mass. So when you do a mid-sagittal cut, you cut right through that little connecting, think of a short little tunnel that connects the two big lateral masses. We cut right through that short part. Yeah, so so it's like a big bulge here, and a little connector in between. We slide mid-sagittal, makes you go right through the little connector and miss the two big bulges. So, what we have is a central mass of the thalamus, or the intermediate mass. You have the epithalamus. You know what the epithalamus is, right? Pineal gland, basically. We need to remove just a little bit. Of the dura mater here. There we go. Let me do this. Who's got the scissors? To make it a little easier. Thank you. I'm sorry. What would be considered what?
Like what is it made out of? Like you know how.
Tough connective tissue.
Connective tissue.
Yeah. Okay, I just removed some of the dura mater back here. This is the cerebellum in the back. You have the two lateral masses, you have the vermis. We have the little tree-like pattern. Those are all the bundles of myelinated axons going to different places, up to the cortex in different places, and they create a tree or a bush. It looks more like a bush than a tree, but nevertheless, if we bend this forward just a little bit here, very carefully, we don't want to rip. Now, do you see right here on the midbrain? The midbrain is everything below the thalamus, but before the pons. Let me show you where the... Okay, remember, here's the central mass of the thalamus. You have the hypothalamus below. Okay, so the bottom... So from the bottom of the thalamus to the top, you see this little bulge right here, top of the pons? In between here is midbrain. On the posterior side of the midbrain, you can see the big bump and the little bump. Superior colliculus, inferior colliculus. It has to do with the reflexive response to sight on the top and to sound on the bottom. Okay. Now, so yeah, now we have a superior and inferior colliculus on the right side, and we have a superior and inferior on the left side. Together, that's 4 colliculi, right? Corpora quadrigemina. That's where the quad part comes from. Okay, so we got the dura mater here. You can remove the connective tissue from over here. You have to be very careful that when you're separating out, that doesn't rip part of it away, especially down here. And if we're very, very careful, let's try this to get around it. There we are. Get rid of that. Want to pull off. There we go. You can see that a little bit better. Now, underneath, right behind the optic chiasma, you're going to see a little bulge here. You're going to see the the pituitary hanging down below, but right behind it. Okay. Yeah, you're going to see. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to show you this first. Let me remove this. There you go, that's better. That's better. You can see the pons much better now, can't you? big bulge pons right here. Then after that, if we pull this off just a little bit here, it starts the beginning of the medulla oblongata. Now that one is much, you don't have as much of it as shorter, but you have to know pons and medulla oblongata both on this list. We already showed you the arbor. Oh, I know what I forgot to show you. One of the big ones. What do we call this big, huge crevice going down here? It's a fissure. Is it going longitudinal or is it going transverse?
Transverse fissure.
Transverse fissure, right. Longitudinal is the one that goes down in between the cerebral hemispheres. Okay.
The tree or the bush was the cerebellum?
Yeah, this whole thing here is a cerebellum. This tree branch-like pattern that it's making is the arbor vitae. Yeah. And we've already covered this part. Oh, the lobes are pretty straightforward. What cranial bone covers this section?
Frontal.
Frontal. Which cranial bone covers this section?
Temporal.
Temporal. Which one covers this section back here? This would be for occipital. You're looking primarily back here. Parietal is kind of back here, back in the section. Frontal comes back a little ways, but parietal is going to be about in this area. You have the occipital. Get out of here. You have the occipital back in this area, right here around the very end, and of course temporal right along. Well, right where the temple would be. Realize for the sheep, they're a little bit squished, a little bit oblong instead of quite as round as ours is. Okay, and we already showed you the optic and olfactory. And if we look underneath it, we have hypothalamus, a little bulge there. And pituitary, yes. Covered, and oh, we can show you individual. If we get this peeled back a little bit. There we go. An individual little ridge, gyrus, a little groove, sulcus. More than one, gyri, more than one of the other, sulci. Okay. And we got two here. Let's go ahead and cut some more open so you guys can review it. All right, go ahead and pull yours out. Cut just once, make a little nick and then cut just one side across. It's like a little open pocket to the back end. Okay, who's got another?
From day student, studies.